Yo, what's up guys, my name's Hakiii, and in this video we're going to be going over everything that's new with GTA Online on next gen. There's a decent amount of new vehicles, there's some cool new features, and of course some graphics upgrades and better FPS. Now if you go on to enjoy this video, be sure to drop a like, and if you're new to the channel, go ahead and drop a sub so you never miss any more awesome videos like these. I got you guys covered with everything new in GTA, including GTA 5 next gen, and with that out of the way, let's get straight into it. So let's start from the very beginning and talk about what it's like when you load in for the very first time on these next generation consoles. Alright, now first you're gonna have a cool little menu where you can select either online or story, so it doesn't automatically load you into online or story mode. You actually have to manually select it, which I guess could be a good thing or a bad thing in your eyes. I mean, you just need to press a button, so I don't think it's that big a deal. You need to do it manually, and I don't know what it's like to select story, but when you go into online, you're gonna get this really cool new intro. It's like an intro with a bunch of different cutscenes from inside garages and a bunch of different hectic fights and explosions, and it shows off a lot of businesses as well. And after seeing that intro, you're gonna get into your character. So this is the part you're gonna be doing your character transfer if you're going from an old gen console or a current gen console, I'll say. And you don't really need to go out of your way to do anything as long as you're signed into the same account you were on Xbox One or PS4. I'll talk about what happens if you're doing it with a new character in a sec, but the very important thing is when you're doing this character migration to the next gen console, it'll permanently remove your GTA Online profile from the previous gen console. So basically, if you're going from the PS4 to the PS5, when you do this character migration, you're not going to be able to play with that character anymore on PS4, so it's only going to be on the PS5 from now on. I guess it's a way to combat cheating. Maybe there's like less money glitches on next gen, I'd imagine, because someone might do a bunch of money glitches on current gen and then they have the exact same progress on next gen playing as well. Now if you're loading in with a new player or you just reset your character, it is a bit different. So as Rockstar said in the newswire, you get $4 million and you get to select different businesses or vehicles. So you basically get into a selection type screen. You have $4 million to spend on basically whatever you want. It could be a business, it could be a warehouse, it could be a vehicle, a weapon. You're gonna have different categories to choose from, and each thing has a price tag next to it. So before you actually load into an online session, you're gonna get the option to buy stuff, and after that you're gonna load into the regular character creator and customize your character. Also, I noticed in the loading screens you're gonna have a little percentage on the bottom right, so you know how close you are to loading into a session. Getting into the visual changes, another YouTuber TGG said it looked like GTA on PC. Like if you had a high-end PC, that's what it looked like in terms of the 4K resolution. And then when it comes to the 60 FPS, it does make a pretty big difference. A lot of us console players are used to 20 or 30 FPS, so 60 FPS does make a big difference. It's gonna look and feel a lot smoother. It isn't in the gameplay here, and even if I were to capture gameplay from next gen, it's still not going to be as good as it is if you actually play it for yourself. You really just have to go and play it for yourself to really see these changes in game. A few more cool little changes that actually make a big difference. The interaction menu feels a lot more responsive, same with just the overall movement in game, and when you pull up the map and use it, everything just feels a bit more responsive without any major delay, which is a very good and important change to have. Another cool new feature that honestly we should have had in the game a long time ago is the ability to go into invite only sessions and just any type of session you want from a public session. So basically you can go straight from a public session into an invite only and vice versa. It's pretty much the menu we had in story mode and creator, where you can select the different sessions, either public session, invite only, solo session, friend session, all that. Previously the fastest way to go to an invite only session from a public session was to go into creator, and then from there you can load into an invite only, but now you can load into any type of session you want directly from another online session. Moving on to the whole How Special Works side of it, if you don't know what it is from the newswire, I like to think of How Special Works as basically a Benny's Original Motorworks, just a little less good and just inside of LS Carmi instead of outside in the street. It's got different unique upgrades you can put on your vehicles. We'll get into that a little bit later, but to start this whole thing, you go into How's Garage and then you gotta do a pretty long race around the entire map, and you gotta beat How's time, which is like 8 minutes something. It's not that hard. Most people will be able to beat that easy. And after beating that time, you can go into LS Carmi and then you can go into How Special Works inside of there. Before we get into the amazing upgrades you can put in there, let's get into the new vehicles added that are only available on these next gen consoles. The first exclusive vehicles are on Legendary Motorsport. We got the Cyclone 2, so it's basically a second version of the Coil Cyclone. It's also electric. It costs $2.25 million million, so it's not extremely expensive, but it's definitely pretty hefty. And then we have the Astron Custom, so it's another version of the Astron we just got in the contract DLC. I gotta say I'm a bit more excited about the Cyclone 2 rather than the Astron Custom. That's just me personally. And then in Southern San Andreas we have two more new vehicles. We got the Arbiter Gt or Arbiter Gt for 1.5 million, basically just under 1.6 million. Pretty cool looking muscle car right there. And then we have the Karen S95, which we already knew about. That's free right now instead of like what, $2 million, so make sure you go get your hands on that. That's a nice looking, I'm guessing, sports car right there. And then finally we have a pretty unexpected one. We have the Weaponized Ignis in the Warsaw Cash and Carry website. It's $3,245,000. It just looks like a straight transformer to me, especially with that machine gun up top. If you thought the regular Ignis looked like a transformer, this is on a whole nother level. The machine gun itself is solid. It's definitely stronger than your ordinary machine gun. Let's say on the Buzzard, for example. It's more of a heavy type machine gun. Actually, on the Buzzard, I think it's a minigun, so it is a machine gun on the Weaponized Ignis, and it's a pretty heavy one. When you first enter how Special works, you have a free performance upgrade, which is called the HSW Performance Upgrade, and it takes the top speed and the acceleration to a whole nother level on this vehicle, or just any of the new vehicles. It's so ridiculous that the acceleration bar has 2 bars instead of just 1 now. The acceleration, especially on the Weaponized Ignis, is crazy good. Also on the Cyclone 2. When you take the Weaponized Ignis into how Special works, for example, it's got countermeasures, and inside of countermeasures you have the missile lock-on jammer, so it's like the Monty Tech in the Agency. That's a really useful one, so no one's gonna be able to lock onto you. Besides that, you can put exclusive liveries on the new vehicles. And then we have the brand new type of paint job, the Chameleon Paints, which I gotta say is one of the best things that's been added to the game in a while. These look absolutely amazing. When I first saw them, I was like, holy crap, this is actually like revolutionary. They completely transform how your car looks. It looks nothing like any other paint job you can put on a car, and there's a good amount of different ones you can pick as well. They just change color from different angles looking at the car. It's hard to explain it, but they just look super cool. Honestly, one of the coolest things that's been added to the game once again in a while. Definitely go and check it out for yourself, and let me know if you can only put it on the new vehicles you can take into how Special works, or you can put it on all vehicles now, or just all vehicles you take into how Special works. I feel like it's gonna be a new community favorite, kind of like what Chrome or like Lime Green was back in the day. This is gonna be one of those paint jobs that everyone's gonna want to rock on their vehicles. Besides that, there's just a lot of enhanced performance HSW upgrades. That's what they're called. There's HSW brakes, there's HSW engine tunes as well. It's all basically enhanced performance. It's like better than the best performance upgrades. Instead of race brakes, there's the better option of HSW brakes, just as an example. Some people expected more than we got, some people expected less than we got. I think we got basically what Rockstar told us. Personally, I'm pretty happy with it. I wasn't expecting like a whole new GTA game like GTA 6. It's not GTA 6, it's still GTA 5 with some cool new features, and I think they're pretty solid ones as well. And if you want to see what a $10 budget compared to a $100 million budget could get you in GTA Online, click the video on screen now. I hope you all enjoyed that video, and peace.